guys, welcome back. We are doing a new project. This project is making a Queen of Hearts costume. Me and my sister have an event to go to which is Alice in Wonderland themed. We started off with the Queen of Hearts outfit for my sister. First thing we did was start playing with some ideas, colours and fabrics that we have, and just putting them on our mannequin to see what's working and what styles and ideas we want to go with. This is our Queen of Hearts outfit, and this is where it's at the moment. It's coming together nicely. This is the lining of the bodice. I am next going to show you the steps I took to make the outer side of the corset. So I'm starting the front of the corset. I say corset as loosely as possible because we're not putting any boning in it. This is for the top to go over the top of her shirt, so it brings everything in. So it is an outer layer outfit. I'm not putting any boning in it, but I do want to stiffen up the fabric. So here I am first just going to measure out how much stiffener I need, and then I'm going to iron the stiffener onto the fabric. This stiffener is the heavy stiffener, and I've ironed this on to both the liner and the outside just to give it enough shaping, but I didn't want to do full boning because we want to be comfortable on the day. We've got kids that we're running around with. It's going to be hot. It is only for a one-day event. Maybe they'll get worn some other times, but I'm not making something that needs to hold it all together and suck us all in like an actual corset. We just want something to give that effect a little bit of shaping. So first step is to measure these out. I'm going to cut them in two panels because I've got two lots of fabric. So I'm going to cut this along here and iron the whole panel on, and then do the same again. And then I will cut out the pattern pieces. I'm just making sure it fits across the stiffener at the moment. So I have pre-ironed my stiffener onto my red fabric. Next I'm going to just get my pattern pieces, lay them out and cut them out. I have one side pinned, so just going to cut it out and then do the other side. I'm cutting them individually because I want to make sure that the pattern pieces are on the stiffener. Okay, so that is one of each of the pattern pieces cut out. Now just to do this a second time. So for each of the pattern pieces I've gone around and cut them out, and I've started pinning the pieces together. It's really important with the corsets to pin them together, as we are doing two pieces that don't naturally fit in amongst each other, so we do need to get those notches in the right places. I also worked from the centre out for my bodice. You can see I have it laid on the table this way. It just meant that it was easier to know which piece went where. I have sewn all those panels together except for the last one. Between the last one and this one we're going to do loops like we've done on this top. Now it is not the way that this pattern did it. This pattern had you do punch eyelets into the fabric, but I really like the loops, so I'm going to grab the loop idea from the pattern that I used on my one and just do the same instructions it gave me. So to create my loops, I'm just cutting two of these strips on the bias, sewing them up with a 6mm seam allowance, and then turn them in the right way and cutting them. So I'm just going to sew up the end and down one side, and then turn them in, and I'm going to turn them in using a straw and a straw cleaner. So I'll show you how I do that once I've sewn them up. Alright, for those who have not seen this method, I got this off of a patten for kids' toys actually. And what you do is you get your open end and you put your straw inside. It's quite a long one, so let's just move it right down. And then you get your straw cleaner and you poke it in, and then it starts folding back over itself. And so now it's folded all over itself. You can take the straw off, and then it's probably the most hardest part is getting it then off the straw cleaner, and it's turned in the right way, and then I can iron it up. So I am going to go and iron these and then cut them in 2-inch or 5cm pieces. I should have 7 off. So I've pinned up one side and I will show you how I did that. So first thing I did was marked a pin at 2 centimeters in, that way none of my loops get caught in the seam allowance when I join the front and the back, and then I've marked a pin at halfway. I'm going to take my little strips. I've got 7 of these. I like to do it so that the inside seam of my strip is on the inside of the loop. I'm just going to pop it into the pin. So I'm just going to pin down one side, and I'm going to twist it. So I like to twist it so that you kind of get like a little triangle here and the straight bits there, and then I'm just going to grab the other pin and pin it down. Okay, and I'm going to do that for the other end and the middle. I'm going to take it this way. I don't know if you can see it better or not when I do it this way, so let's just do it on a couple of angles. So because this one needs to be in the middle, I'm going to go to one side of that. Sorry, I've got some blunt pins, so just bear with me for a second. I'll find one that's not blunt. Pin that in, twist it up, then twist it down. Take that pin out. And that's number 2. Now because this one I don't want it to get caught in the seams, I'm going to do it all to this side. So first off I will pin to the side of it. Now, this is just the way that I find it the easiest. Obviously there's quite a few different ways that people do these. Again, I'm going to twist it into place and grab that pin. Pop it in. So now I've got my first 3 in, and they are a third of the, and they are evenly parted. So I've now got to put in another 4, so that's 2 into between each of these ones. So I'm going to measure that, and yes, it's matching the other side, which is 4.5 inches, which is a nice easy calculation. That means just at every 1.5 inches I will put a pin, so at 1.5 and at 3 inches. That will still give me a 1.5 inch space here. And then I'll just pin these on around it. So we are just going to tack these down
on the inside of the seam allowance. I will go back and forth over them a little bit because you do want these points to be strong, as they are the part that's going to be lacing the outfit up. I've tacked all the loops in. Now that I'm looking at it, this one looks a little close, so I might double check the measurements on that one. I don't know what's going on there, but that's the idea, is that they go like that. And then after I've tacked the loops in, I have sewed on the back panel, and so there we go, the loops are all in there. The loops are all in there ready to go. The next step will be top stitching. All of these panels need top stitching. I will iron the seams to the center, towards the center front of this panel, because I did the lining, everything was ironed towards the center back. So that's my next step. But I think, yeah, as I said, I'm going to re-measure this one, and I have a feeling I might have to move it, so that will be a little bit of a little unpicking, but nothing too major. So I now have both the outside done with its little loops and the lining done. So the next thing is going to be to put the two together and pin it all up, and sew three sides, but I'm going to leave one to be able to turn it in, and I'll clip some of the excess seam. So this is all sewn in one piece. We did have a wee problem where I had to unpick the panels in the middle here on the liner, because it turned out that I had pinned some of them upside down, because one of the things, the liner here, it's one of the things I found in this pattern is it puts notches in the middle of two very similar pieces, and the way that the pattern asked you to do it, which was sew these two seams together, sew these two seams like that, it actually ended up meaning that this piece was upside down in the liner. So I'm really glad when I did the front, I actually did it my own way, which was from the centre out. So I liked that better than the way the pattern said, but it was fixed, it just took longer to do that. So the next step is going to be trimming back the extra seam allowance and putting in any clippings that I need and turning it in the right way.
So here I'm using the mannequin to show you how many layers our Queen of Hearts outfit actually has. So first off, we have our undershirt. This was kept pretty simple. We used a Victorian costume for this pattern. Then we've got our first skirt. Our first skirt, we appliqued all the love hearts on there for our Queen of Hearts. Then we've got our second skirt. This is just tied up with a bow at the back so that it was adjustable. And then we have our pleated bustle at the back. We thought it was really fun to use the mixture of the checkers and the stripes for this process. And then we've got our corset, which we added some lace to. I think that finished it off really nicely. And then finally we have a jacket for if it is a little bit cold in the day. We're just not sure what the weather's going to be like, so we added this as an option, but the outfit looks great with or without it. Alright, so I'm just going to spin it around so you can see this bustle skirt looks so cool. They were so much fun to make, but we did have to Google and watch some other Victorian designers to figure it out. Then finally we needed to look into what accessories we were going to put with this outfit. Just here creating a wee fascinator, first off by painting some and then creating a few bows. These will both be placed on a headband. We just used hot glue gun to put all the pieces together. We added some leaves to the design as well. Then lastly we decided our Queen of Hearts needed staff, I guess you call it. So we've got an old umbrella, painted the plastic parts black and tied some red roses to it. So I managed to snap a few photos of my sister in the costume the day. I was really happy with how it went. We had so much fun at the CluedUpp Wonderland event. We would definitely do something like this again. Me and all my friends had a great day out.